My dissertation focuses on the importance of language and cultural mediation, particularly in the field of business and marketing, wanting to demonstrate more generally how culture intervenes, often unconsciously, in every moment of people's daily lives. In the development of my dissertation, I started from the assumption that one cannot not communicate. In a situation of interaction between two or more people, everything constitutes communication. Words only represent the verbal aspect, but there are non-verbal and value aspects of communication that are equally important. Communication can be more complicated in contexts where the participants are of different language and culture. The first barrier that creates difficulties in these cases is certainly the linguistic one, but the aspect to be paid more attention to is the cultural one. Hofstede, a psychologist and anthropologist, proposes a definition of culture as a person's mental software, which serves as a tool for interpreting reality and experiences and determines what a person considers right or wrong, appropriate or inappropriate, and so on in a communicative context. Intercultural communication issues can also occur in the corporate working environment, both in the relationships between colleagues and in the communication aimed at consumers. In general, it is important to build a relational and also intercultural approach in order to communicate effectively. The relational skills required in the workplace are part of the soft skills that a person must have, which are very important in today's increasingly globalized, fast-moving world. These skills are easily linked to the cultural sphere, since, as mentioned before, all types of thinking and behavior, even the most natural and conscious ones, are influenced by the culture they belong to. As far as consumer communication is concerned, those in the field of marketing, making linguistic but above all cultural mistakes in the choice of the marketing mix can have serious consequences in terms of economics and brand reputation. Let us look at a couple of examples. The first example concerns Airbnb and its attempt to bring its service to China. The company, which provides an online platform for short-term rentals, decided in 2017 to launch its name in Chinese characters, I Being, formed by I meaning love, B meaning one another, and Yang meaning to welcome. Overall, the meaning is to welcome one another with love. The idea is to maintain a phonetic similarity with the original name, using characters that also refer to the values of the project. Unexpectedly for the company, however, the feedback from Chinese users is not positive. The new name, in fact, conceals details that make local customers smile, or in some cases even get upset. The first feature that catches the eye is the color of the logo. The characteristic pink of the Airbnb icon in the eyes of the Chinese public leaves room for an amorous interpretation, because in China this color is also associated with the pink-light districts, Chinese neighborhoods known for the presence of brothels marked by pink neon lights. Another peculiarity that has not been taken into account is the fact that in Chinese, the single characters, when put together, influence each other. Therefore, the first character, I, love, already determines the meaning of the whole word, giving the expression to welcome each other with love a different nuance from the one initially intended. It does not help that the second character, B, in pronunciation closely resembles another word used to indicate a particular part of the female body. Finally, Yang is phonetically reminiscent of the character for lust. The strategy obviously had a completely different outcome from the one imagined, so much so that, added to further problems that arose following the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic, it led to Airbnb's withdrawal from the Chinese market. Another example is that of Pepsi, the famous company that produces one of the world's best-selling soft drinks, whose history, however, is littered with poorly thought-out intercultural marketing choices. Here is one of them. In the 1950s, Pepsi dominated the market in Southeast Asia, but a misguided promotional strategy led to heavy losses for the company. In this period, Pepsi decided to change the color of its vending machines from the classic royal blue to light blue, wanting to recall the color of ice and entice people to buy the soft drink. However, with further research, one cannot fail to notice that in Asia, light blue is associated with death and mourning. It is not difficult to imagine, therefore, why, as a result of this mistake, Pepsi lost ground in the Asian market to Coca-Cola. These examples show how it is essential for companies to take into account the preferences, standards, and values of the target market's own culture through a globalization strategy. which consists of thinking globally, taking a product or service to different countries around the world, and at the same time acting locally, adapting it to the needs of individual markets. In doing so, especially when developing a promotion campaign, one must remember that each element of message carries meaning. In conclusion, in intercultural communication contexts, we must always remember that we are talking to people and not to cultures. The strategies and analysis outlined in my dissertation can serve as a starting point for personal development, leading to a more conscious knowledge and attitude towards the variety of the world in which we live. However, each person has his or her own set of experiences and ideas which remain unique in the world.